We are at the homestead here in Utah, and guess who I just bumped into? Dr. Avery Jackson. You are an amazing man.
Thank you, Pastor.
You was just with us, and we need more of Dr. Jackson.
Well, very kind of you.
You are a voice for this generation. You have put your practice, your doctorate on the line because pharmaceutical companies are changing the game. Yet you feel like we have to have a voice, or voice have to be heard. And I'm glad that you're making time to tune in right now. We're going to talk about Cardio Miracle. We're going to talk about life, and I'm glad that you're joining in right now. I want to welcome Dr. Avery Jackson.
Thank you, Pastor Mondo. I appreciate you.
Ooh,
you know,
I feel pastor.
Sorry. Oh, it's an interesting time, right? Because
Yes.
look at the costs of revenues by Big Pharma. Big Pharma right now, they're making trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
And all the food that we're eating now is only a $1 trillion industry versus a $3 trillion industry that pharmacy and Big
Wow.
Pharma is creating.
Wow.
So they're doing that, and it's at the expense of good food. Not only financially they're making more, but also in terms of our overall health.
You have dedicated your career, your whole entire career to help people. Yet 2020, COVID-19, it changed everything for you. Where did you find the courage to find a voice and say, I'm going to put this on the line. I'm going to put my cards on the table. I'm going to risk it all. And you've paid a price, by the way. But what inspired you? What encouraged you to speak up?
Well, the Lord said, love your neighbor as yourself. And so when you see something's going wrong, if you sit back and do nothing, then you're part of it, right? And the Lord said, okay, well, there's an issue. We've got COVID. We've got these people that are having problems. Find out what's going on and figure out how you can help. And
Yeah.
and Jesus is, as you know, not only the greatest leader, but the greatest servant. So he said, okay, how can we serve?
Ooh. Listen, I should do a better job introducing you because you're a neurosurgeon.
Yes, sir.
Michigan is your home.
Yes, sir.
Would you give people just a brief biography?
Okay, well.
Because this is the key, right? I believe in miracles.
Yes, sir.
Here you have an ex-gang member interviewing a doctor. I mean, only God, right? Only
Yes,
God
sir.
can put things together. But for those that are watching for the first time, what's your background? How did you get to the place where you can make decisions to say, you know what? People's lives are on the line, but also their minds. People are losing their minds, literally, not just, with things that are happening in the culture and politics with Big Pharma, but what's your background? Can you give us that?
Sure. So I was born and raised in Detroit, a single mom. My mom and dad divorced when I was 5, lived in the hood, and it was really tough. My mom was my hero, or is my hero in heaven now. And at the age of 8, my grandmother had a stroke. She's from Belize, and she had a stroke. And so I asked the Lord, how can I help people like her? And he said, inside,
Yeah.
I want you to be a brain surgeon or neurosurgeon.
Oh, wow.
And that's how it started. And then from there, I went to University of Chicago and medical school, Wayne State, and Northwestern University, and Penn State University, and got my training. Went out into practice. And I was so appreciative. I'm telling you, Mondo, it's just like, Lord, I'm going to prove to you that I'm appreciative of what you've gotten me through to be to this point. So I worked really hard, especially my first 5 or 10 years, and had a ball. Met a lot of people and helped people, and it was just an honor.
Dr. Avery Jackson, let's talk about the cognitive in the brain, because many people are suffering right now with strokes, mini strokes, exhaustion, stress. I mean, we can go down the list of things that are affecting our cognitive minds. How does the mind work? Because I want to get to Cardio Miracle in just a moment and the effects that Cardio Miracle is having in improving, reversing. I mean, those are new words in my vocabulary that, 10, 15 years ago, people were not used that. Today,
Yeah.
we are using reverse, and I mean, it's amazing. I'm hopeful. That's what
right.
I'm trying to tell you.
That's right.
But let's talk about the brain. How does the brain work, and how does the brain get to the place where it stops functioning?
So our spirits are connected to our mind, will, and emotion, our soul, and our brain is a processor by which we're able to interact with our environment and taste, touch, sound, hearing, and seeing, so forth. And so the processor breaks down, the brain breaks down because of poor blood flow, because of toxins in our diet, because of even stress around us. All that affects our processor. And so as a result, we're seeing people who are more confused. We're seeing an inability to even read and to be able to logically understand and put together what's going on in our environment. And also it's a challenge in terms of our emotional stability. People are more angry, they're more confused, they're more upset, which is what happens when your hippocampus, so the memory part of your brain, when that doesn't work, you don't have context. You don't remember who your friends are. You don't have a sense of boundaries. Well, who are you? Are you here to, are you friend or foe? Like, you don't remember those things. And so in Alzheimer's, that's why people tend to be pretty angry, and it's a challenge on their loved ones. There was a study done looking at taking a certain biomarker out of the blood of Alzheimer's family members and comparing their blood to the blood in people who didn't take care of Alzheimer's patients. And what they found was that their inflammatory markers went through the roof, 6 times higher in the population who were taking care of the Alzheimer's patient, just because of the raw stress, because of how the Alzheimer's patients were having these cognitive challenges. And it wasn't only just, I can't remember, it was, I'm angry because I don't know if you're a friend or foe, forgetting these were their loved ones and their family members.
And this is happening more and more. I think people never thought that this was going to hit home. It always happens to the neighbors, it always happens to other people, but when it happens to you, how did we miss the warning signs?
Yeah, I think part of the reason is Big Pharma captured the medical community, and as a result, they said, look over here while we pick your pocket over here. And so as a result, they affected our diet and lifestyle. They took God out of school, took God out of community, and so we don't even have like an anchor or cognitive reference. Whereas the Lord says, here are the boundaries, here's who I am, here's goodness, here's memory, here's love, here's all these contexts. And so we just sweep the context out of our society and said, here's the artificial context, and now it's dis and misinformation. And this is science, which is now called scientism, which means this is what we want you to see in terms of what is true, supposedly, and it's a narrative versus what is the truth. And the only way you can find the truth is filtering through the Word of God, through His lens about people, about situations, about your diet and your lifestyle.
All those are connected.
Yes, sir.
And the brain, it's got to be one of the most powerful sections of our body, right?
Yes, sir.
Yet we ignore it.
Yes, sir.
Because what we eat, someone said we are what we eat. And could that be related to the brain as well? That what we're eating, what we're drinking, what we're, putting inside of us affects the brain that much?
That much, it really does. Like nitric oxide, when you don't have nitric oxide in the blood vessels break down. And when they break down, it's not just a mechanical thing. It's, well, this part controls memory. Okay, that's gone. This part controls emotion. Okay, that's gone. This part controls how I, stability in something called, for instance, POTS disease, right? It's postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which means normally God made our brains signal our spinal cords to say, if I stand up, I'm okay. I can constrict the blood vessels so the blood goes to my brain so I don't pass out.
Wow.
But now what we're seeing is, because of the emotional trauma that we're facing, because of the toxins in our bodies, our autonomic system, that part that controls your blood pressure, now it's not working, it's dysfunctioning. And so then you take Cardio Miracle comes in, and it actually helps to give you the nutrition you need for the repair of your systems. You're supporting your systems so they can, fix themselves and have that wellness.
I was going to ask you about this because, and you're taking the words right out of my mouth, because how does Cardio Miracle, you're the only one that I have heard talk about Cardio Miracle repairing. How does the reparation happens? How does the construction of reigniting life back works through Cardio Miracle? Because nitric oxide has been around for a long time, yet we are just now discovering the amazing, and I want to be very careful with this because I'm not trying to glorify it, but I am exceptional when it comes to understanding that a product can change your life forever. but yet you're the only one that has talked about repairing. How does that repairing work? I mean, you fascinate me because you understand the brain.
Yes, sir.
Yet the brain can reverse, the brain can reconnect, the brain can do so many things, but yet we're putting medications that are not repairing our body. They're numbing us,
Yep.
but numbing doesn't fix it. Oh, you're gonna get me in trouble.
Yeah.
We're gonna get in trouble together.
So what's fascinating is, so God has made us in such an amazing way. So there, even in the medical literature, we thought that when the brain is fully formed, and that's usually when you're 5, 6 in terms of the brain tissue.
Yeah.
Once you make brain tissue, that's it. You got it. You can't lose it. I mean, you can't grow anymore. And then later, a study came out to show that we actually form and repair parts of our brain, the hippocampus, our memory, over the course of about 50 years. So that changed how our whole aspect of how we saw brain development and brain function and healing through these stem cells, which are cells that can make and replace tissue that's damaged. The problem is, there was a study looking at why do older people have more cognitive issues like Alzheimer's and so forth compared to younger people? Mm-hmm. And there was a theory out there that said, well, it's because there's more stem cells in the younger population than the older population, and the stem cells are the reparative cells.
Yeah.
Turns out, they did this study where they sliced these brains of people who died suddenly, not because they had any chronic issues, both the older population and the younger population. The number of stem cells was the exact same. So then the issue is, if the stem cells are the same, what's the problem then? Why do we see Alzheimer's and these cognitive issues in older people, not younger as much? It turns out the answer was the blood flow.
Ooh.
Blood flow. So when you have the appropriate blood flow to the parts of the stem cells in the brain, then those reparative cells can kick in and do what they need to do. So the reason why Cardio Miracle is so amazing is because it supports the blood flow and repairs the blood vessels to get get the blood to the right places. So now you can actually repair the broken tissues. And so this is a huge deal. And in neuroscience, for many, many years, we only had one way of thinking about things, and now we realize that by observation, all of that's changing. And one of the other issues, Mondo, is in society, we said, well, fast food's bad, right? And normally, I'd say that's the case. Fast food, it has preservatives in it. Mm-hmm. It's not a lot of whole food, not a lot of nutrition. The difference is, in Cardio Miracle, it's still fast, right? You just take a little, you can take that powder, put it in some water, mix it up, and you've got it, or in the packet, you've got all these choices. So it's super fast, but it's super nutritious. So now you've got this food that actually tilts what we thought in our conversations about fast food versus home cooked food.
Yeah.
It tilts that conversation on its head, because now this is a great solution for what we thought for a number of years was a major problem. So we have to actually change our speech, because now we can't say that fast food is necessarily bad if it's the right food. So Cardio Miracle is the right food. It's quick, and it's available. All you need is some water, mix it up, and you can take it 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day. And that food supports those mechanisms that heal your brain, heal your heart, heal your liver, because all it is it's a good food, and it's doing its job to support your body's ability to heal and repair.
Wow. So listen, when you're dealing with dehydration, you're dealing with, and by the way, 75% of the water we drink is away from home. The question is, what are you drinking in that water? Yeah. Because if you're consuming water with sugar, which is sugar water, which in the hood is very popular, right?
Yeah.
That's another subject.
I know. I was going to go there too. Sugar water, because when we were younger, we were so poor that we couldn't even get cookies, right?
Yeah.
So we take water, put cold water, ice cold water, and put sugar in it, and that was our dessert oftentimes.
Yeah, and it suppresses the ability to get hungry and all that.
Yeah.
But today, sugar water has become in our coffee. There's more sugar in coffee than there is coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go down the list, yet what you're drinking can change because the inflammation in the body changes when you drink this type of stuff. How bad is the inflammation in our body right now And if we don't take Cardio Miracle, then we're in trouble, because Cardio Miracle, have you found it to be something that can, maybe not get rid of 100%, but I want to say it's very close to 100% removing the inflammation in your body.
Right, because so inflammation, people don't get, when you say inflammation, when I say inflammation as a physician, I used to think, oh, it just means my knuckles hurt and I had some aches and pains. Like, I didn't take it seriously. I didn't understand how it affects the brain and the organs. But inflammation is really complex, and it's like your systems are on fire and they're not working the right way. I mean, your brain's on fire, your joints are on fire, and they're IL-6 and tumor necrosis factor, all these factors or biomarkers that we see in our blood that shows something's wrong, right?
Yeah.
So that's inflammation, and inflammation can eventually destroy that organ.
Yeah.
So now you go and you take Cardio Miracle, and it literally reverses the inflammation. Why? And I'm not saying it treats anything, but what it does is, it's because it's a wonderful food, a superfood.
Yeah.
That superfood comes in, supports your system's abilities to do what they're supposed to do, and then your body stops the inflammation and stops this destruction, and this fire gets put out by having your body systems work and are back online. And that's what Cardio Miracle does. And in my opinion, Mondo, as a physician, I don't care what kind of physician I am, or, if I was OBGYN, general surgery, primary care, it doesn't matter. This would be something that I would have every single doc give to every single patient, because it's supporting that substrate that helps to repair a person's body.
Wow.
And so all docs should do this. And by the way, there's a great doctor's program out there.
Yeah.
So John, in his big heart, he's a brilliant guy, the owner of Cardio Miracle, founder, but in his heart, he says, listen, we know that docs are struggling right now in this economy. How can we help them so that they can help people? And so this program is such that when the doc joins this ambassador type program, there is some residual income that they can get, so that way they can continue to support their practices.
Wow.
Right, because now costs are going up. It's hard to keep the doors open, and a lot of docs, they'll do this for almost nothing, but you got to have some money to keep the lights on to be able to support taking care of patients. So the doctor's program is an ambassador's program that they really need to check out. Because I think it's going to help not only support them, but then it's going to help them do more for the people that they're trying to serve.
Wow, there you have it. I mean, you and I can talk for hours on so many different issues, and one day we will.
Yes.
Because I love you and I appreciate what you've done for my family, what you're doing for your families out there watching. And listen, call the number right now, 1-888-988-1588. And become a part of the family, the Cardio Miracle family. It's changing lives all over the world. And I want to tell you something. If you want to improve your heart health, stop thinking about it. Stop, putting excuses out there and so many ifs and buts. Either you do it or you don't. The Bible says that a double-minded man is unstable in his ways. I can almost guarantee you that your health is unstable because you can't make a decision. Either you're going to do it or you're not. You see, God works with yeses or nos, but he doesn't work with maybe people. Maybe people are always sick. Maybe people always have problems. Maybe people always are in trouble. Not that you're going to live a free life. No, it's just that when you make up your mind to say, yes, I'm going to call right now and I'm going to start that journey and I'm going to do what it takes, because I want my life to be different. What if all it takes is for you to pick up that phone? What if all it takes is for you to try it one time? It is money back guaranteed. This is incredible. Listen, call the number right now, 1-888-988-1588. I was not supposed to go this long, but you have so much information, Dr. Avery Jackson, that we're going to have to do this again. I appreciate you. We love you.
Thank you.
Thank
Love
you
you,
so
Mondo.
much.
Love
And
you.
remember, visit our website right now. We have an affiliate program with Cardio Miracle. This is something that I use every day. Our family uses every day. You're supporting Christian television. You're supporting businesses like Cardio Miracle and doctors. And we're going to bring more people to share their testimony and share their story. But more than that, we want to share your story one day of what the miracle that you have experienced through Cardio Miracle. So give us a call right now, 1-888-988-1588. Back to the studio. Bye-bye.